difficulties with YouTube. So I'm gonna have to go to my desk for a second and fix it on my computer because apparently you can't fix it on the phone. Now I do at least this time have a tripod, which, there we go. And I'm doing this on my phone, which should fix some of the video issues we're having. But stick with me for 1 second as I get this sorted out. And totally don't get distracted by emails. That would never happen. Yeah, stream, not emails. I know exactly what I'm doing. So this will show up in the YouTube VOD, but nobody is actually here yet. So I'm gonna try to get this up and running. And, oh, no. Everybody is waiting on me at the moment. So apparently setting the streams up in advance just does not work like it should. So if you're watching this on YouTube, just skip over this section. Nobody was watching it on the stream. Where did my scheduled stream go? Why is it just gone now? It would be really nice if it would let me do this beforehand. I need to choose a thumbnail. Oh, come on, let me choose a thumbnail. Yeah, if you're watching YouTube, just skip this part, it's fine. Everybody's waiting for me to do the live stream, but I can't because I need to choose a thumbnail. Where's the one I used last time? It should be like right there. I definitely need to work on my process for getting these live streams set up. Come on. Oh, maybe it's in my downloads folder. Perfect. Okay. I need to make a live stream playlist too. Okay, so the stream should be public now and we should have people coming in. And I still have a couple more things to fix. So let me know when there's somebody here. Okay, that's done. We want live chat replay. We want anybody to be able to join. Hey, it's finally working. Okay, we had some technical difficulties. I have been streaming for 5 minutes and I was not able to get things publicly. So, hey Sparko, how's it going? I'm still getting this set up. For some reason, when I try to prep a live stream on, like if I try to schedule it, when I go and do it on my phone, it insists on being in portrait orientation. And I can only set it to horizontal orientation if I don't give you guys a warning on the live stream, basically. Don't let YouTube do ads. I don't want that. We're not doing music or anything. Okay, the stream should be set up and we can get going here. I'm sorry that the actual live stream was not the one that I had scheduled. We're having issues with YouTube. I will try to figure out how to deal with those. My audio should be a little bit better today. I turned down the gain on my mic because it sounded like I was blowing out last time. Is the audio better for you guys? And the video shouldn't be squished this time too. Is my video squished like it was last time? Let me know. And I think I'm good to move to the shop. I don't see anything else that I need to do. It's great, no swish. Awesome. I have a question for you guys. If you don't have YouTube Premium, when you join this live stream, do you guys see ads? I have ads turned off for happening in the middle of the stream, but on my last live stream, I had like $2 in ad revenue, and I don't know if that happened from the middle or what. But okay. I'm also going to try to actually trim off the beginning of this stream, which I didn't do last time. So my camera's probably a little bit blurry. We're doing it on my phone. We should have better video. And it has a tripod-like object. You wanted me to try a Pirates game. Oh, the ad. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a bath. Okay, that should be better. And now I need to get my tablet so that I can read chat. But filming should be way easier today because you guys are on an actual tripod mount instead of me trying to prop up my tablet at weird angles. So, and I charged my phone. We should be good on battery. I do want to keep this stream a little bit shorter, though. Excuse me. Though there's lots of things that I need to do. I did not get as much prepped as I was hoping for you guys. So we get to do some fun things like clean out the machine before we get started. But let me get my tablet set up here with chat. So before I was doing chat on my phone and recording on my tablet. Today we're doing the opposite. And if we still have technical difficulties after today, I'm going to try streaming directly from my laptop. It'll mean that we're corded. From my laptop? Oh, no, don't do that. It'll mean that we're corded, which will cause problems, but I think we can work around it. Okay. I have chat. I have camera. I'm feeling optimistic about this one. The camera is on what's called a frog pod, which is a magnetic tripod. And currently the frog pod is, hey Bleach, currently the frog pod is stuck to a 1, 2, 3 block. So the 1, 2, 3 block lets me put it down on something non-metallic like my workbench, but I can also stick it like inside the machine or whatever if we really wanted to. And you should be able to still hear my commentary over the wireless mic. Okay, so first things first is the stuff that I did not get to, which is I need to clean out my chip pans. So we're going to be doing copper today. Copper is really expensive, and oh gosh, you guys get to see the embarrassing behind the scenes part. That's all of a mess. Copper is expensive, and the chips are expensive, and so we want to try to preserve those and keep those separated from everything else. So right now in my chip pans, I just have mixed chips, which mixed chips are worth less than zero, basically. They're more like, recyclers won't take those. So that was kind of a waste, but there really wouldn't be that many dollar values in them. I need to find a place to put them. I'm running out of storage place. The picture on my latest short reminds me of those funny dog noise pictures. I don't even remember the last time I did a short, so it was probably a long time ago. So I'm going to load these mixed chips into this bin here, and then I will probably just throw them in the trash because none of my local recyclers will take mixed chips. They'll take steel, they'll take aluminum, but as soon as you combine steel and aluminum together, they become less than worthless. Where are my gloves? So, hi guys, here's my gloves. I need to find a better way, a cleaner way of emptying these chip pans without making a mess, because I make a huge mess every time I do it. So part of the problem is when Tormach said in their instructions to do cable management back here, I didn't, and that has come to bite me. I also have a little bit of a buildup of a mess because for a while I was trying to dump this stuff into a trash can that was less wide than the chip pan. And so every time I would lose like 25% of the chips out of here. I have temporarily solved that by buying these plastic bins. These plastic bins won't hold up forever, but they are, however, wider than the chip pan, so this becomes a little bit easier. Coolant still looks good. All right, we'll get that cleaned out. I probably should have put this mill about a foot farther forwards as well. This is as close to the wall as I would want it. Well, okay, it's a foot closer to the wall than I would want it. All right, other side. So yeah, a little bit more room for maintenance would be nice. This amount of chips right here is like 3 or 4 weeks because of that hard milling job. I haven't emptied it since then. Oh gosh, I need to really vacuum back here or something. I'll do that after the stream. But so for those of you that are still just getting here, I know we're having people trickling in. I'm getting ready to do a copper job. And one of the things about copper is the chips and scrap are actually worth a decent amount of money. And so saving those separate from everything else, saving those chips, will net me, I don't know, a measurable amount of money once I run enough copper. Whereas aluminum or steel chips are, I don't know, aluminum's worth something, steel is worth basically nothing, and mixed chips are worth less than nothing. Okay. I'm out of breath, but now we can clean out the machine. Hi, everybody coming in. Sorry, I've been away from chat for a second, but Yelims says high-speed steel cutter. Absolutely not. We do not run high-speed steel except for slitting saws and drills in this shop. We're way past high-speed steel as a nation, and or not as a nation, in the current state of manufacturing. There's no reason to use high-speed steel except for drills, or maybe slitting saws because they're cheaper. Alex said, oh, sorry, I meant to mute. Here, hold on. Okay, Alex says you're kind of here, kind of not. Okay, that's fine. You have an earbud while you're in class. Aren't you teaching class? Carbide leaves a better surface finish. It's more rigid, it's sharper, and at this point, the only high-speed steel tools around are super cheap, and so you can't get high-quality ones anymore. Whereas all the money's in carbide. Like, nobody uses high-speed steel in a real shop. And if they do, they're going to go out of business soon. All right, we need to hose down the machine first. So this machine comes with a very nice hose, plus we have the wash down. And again, we're just cleaning things up. The machine really isn't bad at the moment, but we'll get all of the extra chips out of here. Turn on the wash down. Oh, need to turn on the machine first. Turn on the wash down. Turn on the coolant. And now I can do some spraying. Is that like super loud for you guys? Or is that fine? Here, let me turn you guys around. So that's what it looks like down there. Don't fall in. And I'm just kind of doing a quick little hosing. The washdown on this machine is pretty legit. My Haas is always super dirty and ugly, but this machine is always like sparkling clean because it's so much easier to clean out. I guess there really wasn't much in here worth cleaning, was there? Let's move the table back. Sorry, I'll get back to chat in a second here. Can I zoom out? No, okay. Remote. Let's move the y-axis. Oh, hey, look, it's that screw I dropped. Okay. Oh, look, in the 3D printed part. Bye-bye. I'll pull those out of the copper chips. All right, there really wasn't much in here. I think that's clean. Turn off coolant, turn off washdown. Actually, let me show you something on the washdown. So I did some customization on the sprayers. So these used to all just be like that there. But I added this sprayer here, which right now is just spraying the door. But normally, it kind of sprays like the, here, can I stick you guys in the machine? It sprays like that little ledge, which you can even see right now does still have some chip buildup on it. I was having issues where it could, like, it was occasionally jamming up the door, so I added that sprayer. And then I added a sprayer there and a sprayer on the other side that sprays this little gap here, which is somewhere I was having chip buildup. I need to buy just like a kit of the sprayer nozzles and rearrange things a little bit better. I want to have that sprayer, I want to move it, extend it out so it's right there at the beginning of the chute and aim it straight down. I think that'll help some. But overall chip management on this machine is super good. Here, you guys want to see chat? We'll go back to front person view or front camera view. We had a question that I was trying to get to. How much contamination does it take to make the chips worthless? It's a little bit dependent on the mood of the person who is taking the chips those days. Yeah, Yenlin, sorry, I didn't mean to call you out too much. That was a little bit aggressive on my part. But chip contamination is a little bit dependent on the person taking the chips that day. They're more okay with a little bit of steel and aluminum chips. They're less okay with a little bit of aluminum and steel chips. Generally, I don't mind like cutting soft jaws. Like we're gonna do these copper parts today, and I'm gonna cut a fixture and I'm gonna cut soft jaws, and the little bit of aluminum that makes will be fine. But like if you were doing any amount of production or any real material removal, they might bug you about it. Okay, so, I did poor planning on these. We might have to set up 2 different jobs at the same time today to keep space filled, because I am planning on using the Superglue method, which means we will have like 15 minutes of downtime. But we should talk about the parts. So these parts, they kind of look like a little satellite dish. And they just so happen to be the exact size of these drops, actually smaller than the exact size of these drops that I had from a previous job. So I made some like donuts, some rings, and I saved the middle of the ring, because again, copper is so expensive. And these are like 25% larger than the actual part we're making. So it's perfect. Now I don't have enough to grab it by like the bottom and then make the part, so we're gonna use the Superglue method so I can use the whole amount of stock and don't have to buy more. I have never cut Inconel or any of the super alloys. I would love to try it. I do a ton of titanium, I do a ton of stainless, I do a ton of tool steel, but I've never gotten around to trying out any of the nickel super alloys. It's on my list, but it's kind of one of those things where you need a job to justify it, but also you kind of don't want to take a job until you've tried it at least once. So I'm gonna take off my jacket here. I'm wearing my other EJ shirt today, my other nocturnal welding shirt. And I'm gonna put this magnet into said shirt. So you guys should be able to hear me just fine. All right, first thing we need to do is go find a block of aluminum and make our fixture. I suppose we could do steel. I totally intended on setting all of my tools beforehand too, and then I didn't. So let's see, this is my material supply here. Let me turn you around. I need to do some more organization here because I have like all of this stuff built up on top, but like half of my drawers are empty. So let's see, aluminum bar. Which one do we want? It kind of pains me to use a larger part, but also this will be more rigid. This might get a little bit chattery, so big old block. Offline tool setup is money in the bank. Yeah, I have I have so many things to figure out and get set up. I don't yet have a standardized tool list for this machine, and that is like a huge, huge, huge waste of time. You'll see me, I'm gonna set a whole bunch of tools today that, like, even if I just run this job on the Haas, I wouldn't have to set up those tools and it would be faster. Now I have a different job that we're gonna set up on the Haas, which is why we're doing this one on this machine. Okay, so there's our fixture. It thinks tool 16 is in the spindle, but that I think was the saw I was using yesterday. So don't use the ATC to store it. So now it knows the ATC is empty. Let's go to tool 99. Tool 99 is always the probe on the Tormach machine. I don't think you can change that, but it's nice because it knows, one, to automatically turn on the probe, but you don't need an M code for that. And two, it knows not to, like, you know, turn on the probe to a 10,000 RPM. So, okay, and probe. We're gonna use this probing macro, which is a little bit slow, but you don't have to, like, you know, type in an estimated value on the size of the material or whatever. And now we need to export my code. This time, to save us all the walking, you see that? I was smart enough to bring my laptop so that we can post code right from here. That is awfully low to the ground. 1 second, please. Where's my chair? Chair? Chair. I did not, however, prematurely turn on my laptop. Hey, Redshift CNC, how you doing? That is still probing over there. So for those of you that are just joining, we're machining some parts out of this. This is copper 101, which is basically, I think the 101 means it's like 99.9 or 99% pure copper, as opposed to C110, which is like 99.9 or something. Not sure if you have it, but on Haas you can set a spindle limit in the offset screen. So on my Haas, I don't think you can actually, because I have the pre-NGC controller. Tormach literally just added that capability last night, and I have not, at least according to the patch notes on the new version of Path Pilot, but I have not updated Path Pilot yet. I wanted to run these parts first. Okay. So anyway, we're making some parts out of these. They kind of look like satellite dishes. Presumably, come on. Presumably they're not satellite dishes, but who knows? Oh, I need to charge this thing. So I'm just trying to get the code posted. Why is my screen so dark? What's my battery at? I need to find a charger. Maybe it would just be easier to do this at the big computer. All right, fine, we're doing this at the big computer. Shape charges? I mean, it's about that shape. It's not quite as much of an addition to it. Thumb drive. Did I miss any? Hi, Randy, how you doing? Where in Indiana am I? I'm in Muncie. Where, well, technically, depending on who you ask, just outside of Muncie. Some places, like if you ask, like my driver's license says Muncie, but if you ask like the utilities or anything else, then I'm not in Muncie. Which was very confusing when I moved in because like the power company couldn't find my address because we were looking at Muncie. All right, so all I'm doing right now is posting code. Oh no, I thought this was more set up than it was. I originally programmed this for the Haas, but then I'm not doing it on the Haas. So, oh yeah, we have a lot more work to do on this program than I thought. I was supposed to do it before we started today, and then I got distracted with other things. Okay, hold on, we need to make a list. So we need a 1/4 inch flat. I really need to fix my tool libraries like yesterday. I'm wasting so much time not having the tools standardized for the Tormach yet. I should probably just copy exactly what I'm doing for the Haas, even though it's not perfect. But, okay, we need a 3/16 flat and 3/16 ball. That's pretty much it. Okay, we're doing almost this entire thing with, actually, yeah, we're doing the entire actual part with 3 tools. And then I'm going to set up my 1/2 inch end mill for the fixture. Okay, let's go set tools, and then we'll post the code. Man, I thought this was going to be a short stream, but I'm so unprepared that it might become a little bit longer. Okay, so there's our 1/2 inch tool. That's already set up and ready to go. We also need to finish probing this work coordinate system. I'm slightly more organized when I'm not streaming, I promise. Maybe not a lot more organized, but at least slightly. All right, we found the top center of that block. Should I do all of my tool library set up on stream? Is that something you guys would enjoy at all? Am I considering setting up for lights out operation in the future? Like you like the Haas parts loader, but the Tormach has the robot? Yes, lights out operation is coming in 2025. In fact, I have a job that I just took that has 2,000 pieces on it, and I need to figure out how to make those 2,000 pieces. All right, so there's the 1/2 inch tool. We'll call this tool 20. Actually, do you know what? We're going to go to the hundreds right now for aluminum tools. So I'm going to call that tool 100 and offsets. Make sure it's clean. Make sure the tool setter's clean. Move and set length. I think I need to do a cam stream where it's just in Fusion and I sort out all the tool management stuff that I have been putting off, and I sort out some of the tool templates for this machine because my systems are non-existent right now for it. Everything is so efficient on the Haas, but I just haven't taken the time, and I am just burning money by I'm just burning money by not having those systems set up on here, or at least burning time. All right, so that was tool 100. Where'd my Sharpie go? I'm going to write down the tool numbers on my sticky notes. What I should do is I should already have these tools preset and loaded in the ATC and ready to go, so all I have to do is hit cycle start. That's how I have the Haas set up, but for some reason, doing that has just completely eluded me on this machine. My camera is slowly tilting. What are you guys saying in the chat? Be careful with production. Don't become a captured shop. You know, this production job is not the most ideal job for me in the world. I could probably make money doing smaller one-offs like from Xometry. It's lower margin. The part is an Audacity Micro part. It's not the smallest part in the world, but it's well within the normal limits of what I would consider. Most of it isn't particularly high precision. There's like one high precision feature and like one higher surface finish requirement. The reason I got it is because I need to learn how to do some production work. I just don't have the experience right now with it. And like, let's say some just gravy job came along, like I don't want that perfect job to be the first big production job I've ever taken. So this one is an easier one. It's high quantity. There's enough margin in it, even if it's not great. And it's a good way of me getting my feet wet into that higher production stuff before really committing to something serious. So it's a good, I'm taking it knowing it's a learning experience. I'm taking it knowing it's going to be a little bit more struggle than maybe another shop would have on it, but yeah. All right, 3/16 inch flat. This one is also set up and ready to go. We'll call this tool 101. And offsets, move and set. Hey. Oh, I forgot to hit enter, I think. Offsets, move and set length. Start with multiple offsets for multiple pieces. I have an Aroa pallet system on the way. I think I will have at least 1 or 2 stations set up where I can just move the pallets between or move the parts between the different pallets. We'll see. Tomorrow is my day where I'm going to figure out how to do that job. I'll get the materials ordered. I'll get the tooling ordered. I'll program it. I'll figure out my work holding. I'll start designing fixtures, that kind of thing. But I'm going to have dedicated pallets for that because I want to be able to run the machine during the day doing job shop stuff or making those parts, but then also be able to run those parts overnight. Even if I get like 2 hours a day of production on those parts happening overnight, that'll be a big win. All right, store that tool. What's next? Ah, dang it, I just tore down my 1/4 inch flat yesterday. Maybe I don't actually need my 1/4 inch flat. I think I could do that with a 1/2 inch. All right, 3/16 inch ball. That one I know I tore down. The other nice thing about that production job is it's 2,000 pieces, but it is like a couple hundred, well, it's like 800 pieces in February. That'll be the hardest part. And then I have, it's like 600 pieces due in July and like 600 pieces due in April. I said those in the wrong order, but you get what I mean. Oh, we got to go steal a tool from the Haas. Unless I have it over here. No, okay. In 18 years of owning a machine shop, you've never had a job in the thousands? I mean, neither have I in my 18 months, actually not even 18 months. Where am I going for places with certs for plastic? Bodecker Plastic does it. Maybe confirm with them before you order the material, but yeah. Tool changes take time, 2,000 pieces divided by 4, that's a lot of babysitting, yes. Yes, the Tormach is 30 taper, though if you want to see the Haas, it's a little ISO 20, aren't those cute? What was I looking for? That 3/16 inch tool? My supply of tooling is getting rather whittled down. And, oh, wait, is it already set up? Is that why I can't find the tool? I need to do a big tooling order soon. Yeah, okay, the 3/16 is already in there. It is tool 3, I believe. Um, I've had this like big gap in cash flow. Like I've have plenty of work, and I've been making money, but none of it has hit my account. And because of that, I haven't been buying tooling, which means I am so low on like everything right now. But I have hopefully a big check landing tomorrow. Have I tried rigid tapping or peck tapping with small taps on the 1500? I have done tapping. I haven't tried peck tapping, and I don't remember what size the taps were. I don't think it was anything weird. But my 1100 MX did an odd 80, and if the 1100 can do it, the 1500 can do it better. But yeah, I do tend to thread mill everything. How many seconds for the 1500 taking a tool change? It's not fast. Here. This isn't even going to be a completely fair trial because there's no tool in there. But this should go to our... It's not fast. Now, I do need to turn up the air pressure on this cylinder. And then also, I think this platter's becoming a little bit loose or something because it shouldn't be jumping like that. That's a maintenance thing that I need to take care of. Okay, but we have that tool in there, and that's tool 3. So we should have all the tools that we need. I know the chamfer tool is already set up. Now we need to go post the code, and then we can run this. Where's my sticky note? For an umbrella tool changer, that's decent. Yeah, I mean, it's not fast. It's not slow. I've seen, you get like the big 40 taper machines, and some of those have just painfully slow tool changes, like the older ones. But it's not a Speedio. Okay, so we want to change the facing to our 1/2-inch tool. I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to do a stream where I go through my tool libraries and sort out a real system instead of this just like monstrosity that I have right now of zero system and all the problems everywhere. I'll set up my core tools. I'll determine what's a swing tool. I'll define what those are for you guys because those are my own made up terms. But the Tormach has just a huge amount. Let me rephrase that. It's designed so much better for how it handles tools than the old controller on my Haas. The new controllers are fine, but the old controller on my Haas is old. And like I'm not taking advantage of it right now. All right, so the flat end mill was tool 101. No, I don't want to change the speeds and feeds. The chamfer tool is the same. And I originally programmed this with a 1/8-inch ball mill because that is a core tool on the Haas, but we need to change that to a 3/16 ball mill. All right, so for you guys watching who have machine shops, how do you handle tool numbers? On the Haas, on the Tormach, I have, excluding the probe and the master tool, I have 998 different tool offsets that I can use. And I was going to use the Haas, or I'll say the right thing sometimes. Eventually, I promise. I was going to use the Tormach tool numbers as like my master tool numbers that I will use to maintain and track inventory in the shop. And the Haas, you just get tool numbers 1 through 20. Tool number 1 is in pocket number 1. Tool number 10 is in pocket number 10, etc. In the Tormach, there are no dedicated pockets. You can put any tool number with any offset in any pocket that you want. So I'm thinking in Fusion, I use the Tormach tool numbers for everything. And if I need to, like when I'm loading a tool in the Haas, that'll just get assigned a temporary tool number of position 1, position 2, whatever. But I want some sort of system to my tool numbers. I don't think, like I was thinking, tools, 1 through 500 could be for ferrous, and then tools 500 through 1,000 could be non-ferrous or something like that. I just haven't really figured out a good system. Like how much more granular do I go? Are tools that end in an odd number, are those ball mills? Are tools that end, or like, I don't know. I could make it as complicated. I could make it really complicated, but I don't think I want to make it that complicated. But I also want to have some sort of system at the same time. So there's a balance act between complicated and simple. And I haven't sorted that out yet. And if I get it wrong, it'll be a headache for the next 10 years. So it's just, I'm just gonna need to work it out. That's really all there is to it. And I'm not sure what the right option is yet. All right, posting code. Who wants to name op1? Someone give me a name for op1. Why can I not see the chat again? Show me all chat. Oh, I actually really didn't miss that much. All right, someone give me an op1 name. And I need an op2 name and a softjaw name. All right, op1 is go, go, go. So post that, go, 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 go. Okay. We have cheese again for op2. Didn't we do that last time? Op2 is cheese. And I need softjaw program. Did I not? I didn't program my softjaws yet. Never mind. We'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. Yep. Don't freeze on me, Fusion. I think my thumb drive is going bad, and sometimes when I post code to it, the thumb drive freaks out, which causes Fusion to hang. Yeah, literally just touching my thumb drive fixed it. It failed to post. How did we fail to post? System error. It must, yeah, it doesn't like my thumb drive. I can get another thumb drive. It's so unhappy. I just opened the NC program and it freaked out. Have I considered brands other than Tormach? I have considered any and all brands of machines. No exaggeration. If you had talked to me about which machine I was going to get, failed to post code? Do I really need? Oh. I have the wrong probe set up in here because I was gonna post it for the Haas originally. So I need to change to the right probe. The difference being that the Haas probe is tool 20 and the Tormach probe is tool 99. That is why it's upset with me. I could do a quick format on the thumb drive. I think it might be physical. But other machines. I've looked at anything and everything. I have quotes from super high-end, Pallet pool 5-axis machines. I have quotes on, not low-end, but medium-end 5-axis machines. I've looked at U stuff. I've looked at Speedios. I've looked at Fanuc. I've looked at everything. I'm a little bit limited by what I can get under my ceilings, but not that limited. I really liked the Brother machines. I was very close to getting one of those. But well, I mean, you guys know that I got to deal with Tormach. That was a big reason that we went with Tormach. Another thing is their automation is super tightly integrated with the controller. Tighter than Haas, tighter than any of the other machines I've ever looked at. And for the type of stuff I want to do, that is more important to me than an extra 4 seconds on a tool change. So that would, cool, they sent me a shipping label. Okay. So that in itself is huge. And in fact, as I am like thinking about what I want to get as another machine, right now I would be more interested in even if I'm buying it, I would buy another 1500 over something else at the moment. So that's where I'm at with that. I lost the thread there, but the automation is so good, and automation is my goal going forwards as a business. I want to automate onesie twosies, and kind of a longer term goal is I want my website to be set up like send, cut, send. I want orthometry. I want people to put in their part. I want them to give them a quote. I want them to hit buy, and I want it to program the part and then go to my machine. That's my ultimate goal. I don't know, there's a lot of steps that I am missing that I'll need to solve first, but long-term goal, if I can get that automated, that would be perfect. And then I'm basically just dealing with edge cases and working on the system rather than actually, in the daily grind. I need to post another program. So I have already started working on that. I go over this in the video that I've recorded but still haven't finished editing yet, where I'm working on some of the software to be able to do that, but I have not yet gotten there. What was I doing? I need to post the program that flattens the fixture for me. So we do need a name for that. So what are we calling the fixture program? I see that I have some comments that I need to get caught up on. I'll do that in a second. Smushy, okay. This program is named Smushy. Excuse me. I covered my burp, but with you guys being right on my chest, that was probably still loud. Okay. So we've already probed it in. Oh gosh, I did it in G55 again. Why? Did I hit the E-stop? That's interesting. Why are you in reset? Huh. I must have done something. That is weird. It's like the controller restarted or something, but I must have hit a button. I must have hit E-stop or something. G-code folder. Open the folder, please. There we go. I'm going to delete all those out. Move. We have go, 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 and Smushy. And because I screwed up which work coordinate system I set, I do this all the time. I set G55. So this would be easier if I actually used the mouse that I have plugged in. I've done this to myself. I have a mouse. The mouse is literally right here, but I never use it. I'm just copying G54 to G55, or G55 to G54. I know there's easier ways to do this. Okay, we should be good. We have all the things copy-pasted. Let's load Smushy. And let me catch up on chat for a second here. I'll put you guys there. Okay. So we were talking about machines. Yes, I've looked at anything and everything. A Jingdao machine, you can Google that. It's like the Chinese equivalent of Kern. That was actually on the top of my list, and kind of still makes the most sense going forwards. Let's see. You've seen the Brother at trade shows. Yeah, the Speedios are basically like, unless you're doing something very niche, it is very hard to beat a Speedio. Balls, chamfer, end mills, drilled taps, that's how you break it up. I mean, that makes sense to me. Yeah. Automation, you have a robot cell and no need for anything other than 2 signals from the machine and 1 signal from the robot. Okay, that works if you're like part loading. And I suppose controlling everything from the machine. So the system I have in mind, I am going to be fixture loading, and the robot is going to be acting as the scheduling device. So I've already started working on this code. I can program the robot in Python, which is the language I'm most familiar with. Not that I'm that good at coding in anything. And so I'm working on a system that will schedule programs in pallets and also coordinate with an operator to make sure the right thing is loaded, and like it'll say, hey, load this material into this spot. It'll know where that fixture is. It'll handle all of that stuff. It could maybe handle some amount of in-process inspection. I'm still working on that, but it's going to be a whole lot more than load, part, press, go. So the close tie with the robot and the automation will actually be a big deal there. Had a shop close to you tell me the guy fed up with his brother and sold all of his brother machines. Never personally had a brother. I have never heard anyone complain about a Speedio. I don't know. Used RoboJills are cheap but hard to find. Yeah, someone in the Discord just got one, and he seems pretty happy with it. Oh, brother service. Yeah, I think that depends a little bit on where you are. Did I hang the mouse, or did the mouse hang itself? It hung itself, and then I didn't do anything to it. What's the name of the Chinese kern? It's I believe it's a Jingdao, which I feel like I'm being racist every time I say that because it's such a stereotypical Chinese name. But I believe it's Jingdiao or Doia, something like that. Jingdao. They have a small 5-axis that is in the same price range as everybody else's 5-axis. Could I use an Aroa robot? Sure, but the Aroa robot's going to cost more than my entire machine plus robot. Like, their one robot is going to cost more than my entire automation cell. The Aroa stuff is obviously great, but even that, it does not have the tight integration with PathPilot like the Tormach robot has. If you want to see the Tormach robot, I show it in my really, really, really long video when I'm at Tormach. It's like an 1.5-hour video where I'm at Tormach. But I love that robot and their integration. Okay, so. Oh, hold on. Let me mute while I blow my nose, guys. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, Jingdao. Jingdiao. But let us run this code. Let me take you guys off of the 1, 2, 3 block. Am I brave enough to put you in the machine? How good is? Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. What could go wrong? I'll just put you guys up high. You should be at, oh, I was trying to stick you to the polycarbonate window. That wasn't going to work. Oh, the camera is rotating. My tripod is worn out. I can't make it not do that. Okay, plan B. Ugh. Maybe I can make it not do that. Oh, okay, I just had to tighten that screw. This is great stream content here. Okay. The table is going to move that way some. There we go. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, there's a lot that could possibly go wrong. I'm just going to send it. We're good. It'll be fine. You guys should still be able to hear me because my microphone is out here. Smushy is nice, I'll be good. Okay, I do have the right program loaded. All right, go. Now my hand is on the rapid override knob, just in case. Oh wait, I don't have coolant on. I need to turn this lever. You're going in the chip pan. There is a non-zero chance that you guys end up in the chip pan, or covered in coolant, or my phone gets destroyed. This won't be the first phone that I've destroyed in a machine. I have made a mistake. This is something I know better than. Do you guys see my mistake? I didn't offset the work coordinate system down. I probed the top, and I didn't go into the material at all. So it's basically just skimming it off. Is that better? Oh, no. I don't think my tripod's stiff enough to do that. It's fine. So I just need to offset this down, what, 20 thou? 20 thou should be fine. Take two. Oh, it goes over there on an or a G30. All right, that seems fine. I have it set to go way off to the side at a G30. Specifically, so the tool change, or that for the last job I had a big stack up, and there was a risk that the probe could hit the part on a tool change. So, gosh, I don't even think you guys are getting covered in coolant. This is great. How often do you get to see the live stream with commentary from inside of a mill? Okay. I need to build a macro that puts the machine like at front center when it's done. Instead, it like pulls it way off to the side. All right, that should do. So that's just the surface that we're going to glue to. So Warrior 69 Fox says, you got here a little late. What's the material? So this right now is just a Superglue arbor, a Superglue pallet, not the final material yet. The final material is going to be just like pure copper, a high purity copper. But we need to superglue that down first. And I need to prep the material, which is why I'm wandering off. Oh, I need my superglue too. My superglue lives in the refrigerator because it lasts a lot longer. If you don't put it in the refrigerator, it goes bad surprisingly fast. And then I also need some sandpaper. I also need some sandpaper to scuff up the fixture. This is the downside of you guys being in the mill, is you get stuck looking at a machine when I'm walking around. So I have a video on this process. But basically you face off the material. I give it a scuff with some sandpaper, and then I clean it with alcohol. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the copper. So again, I'm going to scuff it up a little bit. We're just knocking off oxide layers, basically. I probably shouldn't have done that right over my clean fixture. And then I just buy little boxes of these alcohol wipes, and they're dirt cheap, and they're super nice for cleaning these things. We'll clean that again. I think they're like a ½ cent each or something. They're just stupidly cheap. And then this is the good black super glue stuff. I'm going to put a layer on here. Yeah, this view's all nice and good right now, but we're about to wait for Superglue to dry. So, all right. And I'm just gonna press that right in the middle. And oh, I need heavy stuff. I forgot to get heavy stuff. This will work. And set heavy stuff on top of it. And okay, the time is now 1:09. So that needs at least 15 minutes to be safe. So back out of the machine. Let's answer chat for a second, and then I think we're just going to set up another job. What coolant do I use? I use Qualichem 251C. To be fair, I have never tested out any other coolants. I did consider switching to the 291 or whatever it is, but I've never had a single problem once with the Qualichem 251C stuff, and so I just don't have any reason to change. It requires very little maintenance. Like, basically all I do is check concentration and either add a water or add coolant to it. And that's it. Like, that's all I do. I should probably clean my chip pan down there occasionally, but I've never had any smell issues. I've never had any irritation on my hands. And it's also one of the cheaper ones, at least of the nice stuff, like compared to the Blauser or whatever. I still buy it from Tormach by the gallon because it's a little bit cheaper to buy a 5-gallon pail from my distributor, but they want like $150 to ship it. And at that point, if you buy, I think it's 4 gallons from Tormach, you get free shipping on their website. And even though it's a little bit more expensive per gallon, it works out to be cheaper. So I just buy 5 single-gallon pails at a time from Tormach. I feel like if I had a better distributor, it would probably be better to buy it by the gallon, but for some reason I just don't. David, you're a little bit late to the process, but what's the setup process for the CNC? So we already set all of our tools, and then we faced off a block of aluminum, and then we are now gluing our material to that block of aluminum, and we're going to machine out the part out of that block of copper. Secondhand Haas VF2 or 1100 MX. If you have the space for a VF2, there is no reason to get the 1100 MX. The 1500, this machine I would consider, is Norman here? No one tell Norman, but at this point there's no reason to buy an 1100. If you have the space for an 1100, you can fit a 1500. And if you don't need the capacity of a 1500, then you're better off with spending less on something like a 770 or a 440. The 1100 doesn't really have a space anymore until they do some improvements on it. So I would not buy one. A VF2, you cannot beat the value of a used VF2. That is so much machine for so little money. If you can fit it, that's like, it's just hard to beat that. To move to front end setter, couldn't you switch the machine coordinates at the end of the program? Yes, absolutely. What I've done before, I had this set up on my 1100. I do not have it set up on this machine. It doesn't matter for the Haas because the Haas's table is so small. But I had my post automatically insert a macro to the end of every program that was like a safe retract to move to a safe position. I might live mill some parts. Yeah, once that glue's dry, we're going to mill some parts here. The button under the button for table to front center, it's called home position center. I will take a look at that. 500C is the same performance in low horsepower machines, but a little bit cheaper. Oh, okay. It is opposed 250C as opposed to 251C. Okay, good to know. I did get a quote on the, I think it's 291, which is their stuff that's like higher performance. And after talking to the distributor, it's like way more expensive. It's like for a 5-gallon pail, it's like $100 more, I think. And plus, I would have to buy it from the distributor, not from Tormach. So I would also be paying that $150 shipping. So it's basically double in price. It is supposed to be better for things like stainless and titanium. But after talking to the guy, it's like basically if you just run 251C at a higher concentration, you get all the same value or most of the same value. So I have a tendency to, like, if I know I'm going to be running titanium or stainless, I just put some extra coolant in there and it's fine. You just get a 55-gallon drum. You got a 255-gallon drum of 251 today, and it was $1,900. I mean, that might be worth it. I don't like sitting on all of that cash if I can avoid it. I really don't go through coolant that fast. 55 gallons of coolant would last me like, I don't know, at this rate, which granted, this is going to accelerate as I take more work. But right now, 55 gallons of coolant would probably last me 25 years. So maybe 15 years. Okay, not 25 years, because that would be like 2 gallons a year. I use like 5 gallons a year. So it'll last me like 10 years. And there's no reason for me to be sitting on $2,000 for 10 years. What was my first job? What was my first job I took, and how did it come to you? My first job shop job was on Xometry. 55 gallons lasted you 3 years. Yeah, I have no interest in having a 55-gallon drum in my shop for 3 years that cost me $2,000 to get. Like, I would rather the extra space and keeping the cash free, keeping it flowing. All right, let's switch gears. Do I have any auxiliary filtering on my coolant tanks? Yes, both the washdown and the main coolant pump each have their own filter. So if I leave the washdown on, it'll just kind of continuously filter. If I, and then also, I'm checking emails. Sorry, I probably shouldn't be checking emails on stream, but it's from Tormach, and I like Tormach. All right, let's get this machine set up. So I wasn't originally planning on doing this job now, but I forgot about the glue time. This is a repeat job. I've done these like 5 times, I think. I have no idea what they are. Probably some sort of like electronics enclosure out of, oh, cool, okay. Out of polycarbonate. So it's, yeah, it's kind of a clamshelly looking thing that's coming out of polycarbonate. I use exactly the same strategy as we just saw over there. So let's get this turned on. Yeah, I know the door's open. There we go. Again, we're using Superglue on this one. Because I am lazy and I don't yet have a Superglue pallet, I use my Chinese import vise as my Superglue pallet. So, did I try ATC forwards? No, we should do that now. So, well, so let's go to tool, what tool are you? Tool 7? So you were saying, if I just do tool 7, ATC forwards, it works? Okay. So I've been going into MDI and typing tool 7 MO6 start, but I can just type tool 7 and then ATC forwards. Thank you for that tip. That is excellent, and I will use that all the time. Okay, so let's get my, if you guys haven't seen this Aroa system, so this is the remnant of the parts that I was making last. I was salami slicing them down. This is one of those little import vices. This is the Aroa pallet system. This is an adapter plate. Stack up gets kind of ridiculous. I think I may remachine that. But to change out fixtures, all I do is push that to the side. Now this is free. I can dump out all that coolant. And we can go grab this guy over here. I'm just going to face off this set of soft jaws. Need to make sure this is clean. Sorry if anybody's getting car sick from all of my movements. Just make sure that's clean. Make sure my little feetsies over here are clean. And now I can put them back. Tighten it down. So there we go. This is repeatable to like 5 microns or something nuts. And it's super fast to change pallets. Now I have the pneumatic version of this and the bigger version. This is the 50 millimeter version. I have the 120 millimeter version. That is coming for this guy, or it will be soon. The Your 2008 Haas won't do that. This is a 2003. If this does it, that one should. What towels am I using? Bounty, at least for most of my cleaning. I have some, oh, they're gone. There used to be a pile of rags over there. They must have gotten washed, but mostly just paper towels. So we need to face this off, and let me just make sure this is tight. Okay. Can you tell that I was running Delrin? I cleaned the machine right before I ran the Delrin, and it's just a mess. This machine is always a mess, and it's so much more difficult to clean because there's no hose. The only thing I can do is take this and do that. And it's just a pain, and it's messy, and the machine pees on the floor no matter what. But you've always used rags in a box. Yeah, I just use paper towels. They're cheaper. But this is, so people always complain about the Haas being messy. This is why, because I have to sit here and do this. And I'm just not going to do this before every job. And the door. So this is, again, this was running 9 small Delrin parts. And the door looks like this. And this clogs up a little drain, which causes it to pee on the floor. So, but we'll get to that later. So I need a program to face this off. Yes, I could probably just write that or use conversational or something, but. Guess where we get to go? Back into the office. Actually, am I going to be lazy? I'm going to be lazy. Nope, I'm going to be lazy. So in this bin, I've got a bunch of soft jaws. I'm just going to replace the soft jaws on that vise. That way I don't have to face them off. I'll just face these off before I do the next job. Let's put you guys down somewhere. That good enough? Oh, there's the paper towels. I have a paper towel holder on like every machine. I could 3D print something to prevent chips building up on the door. That's not a bad idea, particularly if like there was still some way that coolant could drain down the door. But I tried a little laser cut shield thing, but it didn't stay attached very long. And I didn't want to like drill and tap a whole bunch of holes in the machine because I think those would just cause it to leak worse. So it's just a known problem with the office mills is they piddle. Why not the handle jog the, why not just handle jog the facing? Because with my spindle issues on this machine, it would take a long time, basically. I could. The spindle needs to be rebuilt on this machine, and so it doesn't like taking any serious depth of cut or width of cut. So I mainly right now I'm using it for plastics and really small parts where the spindle issues don't come into play. But I just need to send it in and have it rebuilt. I couldn't really do that before I had the Tormach because, you know, this machine is how I made my living for 9 months or so before the Tormach got here. 10 months, something like that. And so I was kind of stuck in this catch-22 where the spindle was slowly dying, but I also couldn't afford to get it replaced. But now that the Tormach is here, I will be able to do that at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it. I was going to do it at the end of the year, the end of 2024, but cash flow got in the way. And now I've just been busy, especially with that big job that's coming up. I'll still need to have a machine so that I can make other parts. It's not that bad yet. As long as I'm careful, the spindle's fine. My finishes off it aren't necessarily great with any length of tool. But if I'm doing small stuff, if I'm doing micro machining, like it just doesn't come into play. It like the issues start to appear at some amount of tool pressure. And as long as I'm under that amount of tool pressure, then I don't have issues. Okay. So that's done. That was easier. I will still reuse these. I will face these off and use them later. But I just can't be bothered right now. Okay, so now I guess we might as well probe this in before we do anything else. I happen to already have the probing macro up, and a nice thing is I can just hit start on this, and the machine is not warmed up. That should be fine. I can just hit start and it'll change to the right tool for me. And then I can jog it into place. Where can you find the link to the Discord? So the Discord is technically not an Audacity micro Discord. It is technically a Taps and Patience Discord, which is our Patreon, or our podcast, me and Harrison's podcast. And the Discord is specifically for Patreon members. So you have to go be a Patreon member to join that, which is I think it's a minimum of $1 a month is all you need. Keeps the riffraff out that way. Only the people who care. Okay, so I just set Z, hopefully for the right offset this time. And again, if I was smart, oh wait, that's not where I need to be. If I was smart, I would have my fixture and the row system modeled and never need to change work coordinate systems. I have started working on that. So edit, program conversational. I hit that button 3 times and come choose the right macro. X web is the one I want, work offset 1, X width 4.25, Z depth negative 0.5, 3, okay. Now I should be able to just hit go. But basically I don't have that quite set up yet. I've been working on a new master template, which I'll definitely do a video about when I get a chance, but I haven't had time yet. So in the meantime, I have just been probing everything in. Okay, now edit, program conversation 1, 2, 3 times. Second button. That 1. 4.25. Go on to NDI. See, this is why I say the Tormach probing is a lot faster, because you don't have to do any of that stuff. I mean, now that I've done it 100 times, like, I am fast at it, but when I was first getting started, it was so much slower. Okay. Let's just get you up and out of here. And I like to put away my probe when I'm not using it, just because I'm less likely to accidentally whack it with a hammer or something, or a drill. Okay. Now we need to figure out how big our material should be. I wonder what time it is. Can we run the copper part? This is the polycarbonate that we'll be running the next part out of, and we'll need to cut that to size. But what time is it? It is 1:30. We started the glue at 1, right? So I've gone a half an hour past. Let me just quickly pull up that other job. Don't use the gun on stream. I wasn't, and then you guys said it was okay. The Xometry payment term change was annoying. They did it just to artificially inflate the amount of cash they had on hand for a like investor meeting, because they're getting sued by a million different people. So they decided to just screw their machine shops. You could say that I'm not particularly happy with Xometry on that one, if you didn't get that. When was the last time I ran this part? I'm not showing you my Xometry thing. You guys don't get to see the plastic part. It's a Xometry part. You can. Sorry, I just got a Xometry sent me an offer. Sometimes Xometry will choose a specific shop for a job, and they chose me. I'll take a look at that later. Okay. Where is this job? How big is my part? The part is approximately, I left my sticky notes out there. Guys, I'm so disorganized. Does my pre-NGC controller not have the work setup page under the hand jog tab? I don't think so, but we'll go check. It's a pretty old controller. So, all right, this part is 3.189 by 2.432, which I probably rounded to 3 1/4 by 2 1/2. Okay. 3 1/4 by 2 1/2. You guys remember that? And was there something else I was supposed to be doing? Tired is my middle name. Dude, I get you guys. I'm with you. All right, does my pre-NGC controller have the setup page? Let's go find out. And then I think we're ready to go run the copper. Okay, so the work setup page under the hand jog tab. Go to, so hand jog tab, and then hit F2, hand jog tab F2. Am I doing something wrong? If I hit it down, if I hit page down, I get to the different modes. So let's go to this one and press F2. Hit hand job 3 times. Hand jog. I said jog. It's not that kind of machine. 1, 2, 3. Here, let's go to MDI, hand jog. 1, 2, 3. F2. I think my controller's too old for it. F2, F2, F2. It thinks the door's closed right now because I have the magnet here. I don't think I have it. I think I have to do my edit, program, etc. You need a Haas now? I'm trying not to make jokes. Okay. What was I doing? Oh, copper parts. Right? Because we started those at 1, and now it's 1:30. So the glue should be plenty dry. You need the robot for the hand job button, guys. Just, never mind. Okay. So turn you around. Let's pull you off of the 1, 2, 3 block. We have copper glued. So now let's go find go. Does this start off with, I need to update my post. I haven't done that yet. Okay, wait, let's go back to the computer. There's a post update for the Tormach, and I just haven't gotten around to updating it yet. And, I forgot to bring my 1, 2, 3 block. Because of that, I have to manually put a line in G-code whenever I do probing. Let's just get rid of the probing. I don't actually need the probing here. And all I have to do is update my post processor. There was an update to Path Pilot last night. Is it $1 a month or $1 a show? I know my bottom tier is $1 a show, but I think you might be able to just say $1 a month and still get it in. Is it morning over there? It's mid-afternoon. It's 1:30 p.m. Okay. What did we name this program? This wasn't cheese. This is go. So no probing this time. I'll just do manually. Basically, the probing is to make sure that the machine knows exactly where the material is. Since we just glued it on, we don't really have any reference surfaces. I just, guessed at the center. And so it would probe in the side. Yeah, so I brought my laptop here, but the battery was dead and I don't have a, a plug. I need to buy a second computer and set it up here once I get a real workbench. I need to order a real workbench here too. But yes, this machine needs its own dedicated computer as well. It's on my list. I haven't gotten there yet. Okay, so go's loaded. Let's go to tool 99. The door's open. Let's go to tool 99. I don't remember how much bigger the part was than the, sorry, focusing. I don't remember how much bigger the stock is than the part. So I just want to make sure that I'm nice and centered on the material. So about there should work. And there is a probing macro that will find the center of a boss. It does like 3 taps right in a row on the side here. And then it uses that to estimate the size and then probes in for the final position. The new Mini Macs are really fast for fusion. I will not buy a Mac on principle, but yes, you're right. Those are a pretty good value. All right, workbenches. So both machines have an identical one of these toolboxes. These are just a Harbor Freight toolbox. They cost about $400. They're actually super, super nice, and I've very much enjoyed these. I have covered the top in paper just to preserve the nice wood underneath. I did not do that with this one originally, and that top on that one got pretty beat up. It's probably time to replace the paper on this one. It has all my scribbles on it. The workbench over there is one that I threw together with 2x4s, and it's really bad. I am a bad carpenter. It's super wobbly, especially on the horse mats I have down here, the big old rubber mats. But there is a company that they're just on Amazon that makes some pretty nice looking workbenches. I'm gonna buy 2 identical ones, one for there, one for here, just to keep everything standardized. Again, it is on my list, but if you've ever had if you guys are in this industry, you know there is a million things to spend money on, and you can only spend money on one at a time. And right now, the Aroa pallet system is the priority for this. I have deals with 2 different people who are selling me a used system, but I just because of cash flow issues, I have a ton of money that is coming to me in the near future, but nothing in my bank account right now. Because of that cash flow, I haven't actually been able to pay for it. So as soon as I have almost $8,000 coming in within a day or 2 here. Once that comes in, I'm going to pull the trigger. We'll have 2 Aroa pallet stations on here, and then I can start thinking about other shop upgrades. Get a roll of masking paper for spray painting hanging on the side when starting. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I've been using this stuff here. This is like the floor mat that painters walk on. It's a lot thicker than normal brown paper, but I think normal brown paper would be fine. If I had a roll that was the width of this, and I could just drag it over and then magnet it onto the other side, that would be ideal. Okay, let's get you guys. I don't think I want you in the machine because this is a longer program, but we should be able to find a good way. You need to aim that way, guys. Okay, you have to be on the right side because that's where your camera is. Oh no, stop doing that. I have a tripod ball on top of this thing, this frog pod, and the tripod ball is just cheap crap. And so it gets loose regularly. Oh. Come on. If I upgraded that, this would be a lot better. Maybe if we go down here. It's not the worst view, but I can clean the wind. No, this is gonna get covered in coolant immediately. What about back here? Aim down more. All right, you're slightly tilted, but that should work. I'll still have the chat on my tablet. Yeah. Are you guys still aiming in the right direction? All right, I'm always paranoid about the probe, so I put the probe away before I hit cycle start on programs. ATC, store current tool. Now, there is a very good chance that we immediately throw this piece of copper. Do we want to take bets? Can I do that? Oh, I'm not admin on my tablet right now. I'm on my personal account. All right, no gambas for you. Let's turn max velocity down and cycle start. Just thumbs up or thumbs down. Do we throw the piece of copper? I would say it's pretty 50-50. I'm doing a fairly aggressive cut here, and it's more aggressive than I would do on my Haas. And so I don't know if it's going to be too much for the glue. Let's turn off coolant for just 1 second here. We'll go to air. Oh, it also thinks the material is square. Did that move or was that in my head? I mean, that was fine. That was almost doing a full slot. Should we just stay on air blast? All right, we should be golden. I think we've gone past the hardest part. Okay, I think we're good. Finishes look decent. Actually, finishes look really good. Well, okay, maybe. How much does coolant hurt the adhesion of the glue? Not at all. It doesn't affect it. Yeah, once the glue is cured. Now, if I was using tape, it would matter, but because I'm using straight super glue, it don't. I have a video on my glue method. I did not promise you throwing work pieces. I said it was a possibility. It was a gamble. Now, maybe as this piece loses surface area, like, don't rule it out yet. I don't remember the exact speeds and feeds, but it's approximately a 3/8 of an inch. 3/8 of an inch? Yeah, 3/8 of an inch step down. The step over is about 50 thou. We are heading 20.5 inches a minute at 4,500 SFM. So not a particularly aggressive cut. But that's all right, we only need to make 2 of these things. The vise is bubbling on moving side? What do you mean it's bubbling? I don't see any bubbling. Oh, I see the bubbling. The vise, not the part, yeah. I don't want drama. Let's not have drama machining. Machining should be boring. Don't get the glue on top of the coolant. Yeah, that'll cause problems. I believe super glue is kicked by moisture. And, oh, it made a funny noise, but it was just a rapid. It'll cause the glue to like bubble and My phone falling. Yeah, I see the bubbles. I see the bubbles now. I think my phone is slowly falling. I need to invest in a better tripod. I wonder if I can use my other frog pod to kind of hold you down a little bit more. I should definitely also turn on option stop. Okay, it's on. Option stop was on. Okay. Second tripod acting as a support. I could get a dial. Whoa. Hey, look, I can zoom in. I could get a dial indicator base. Okay, we're just going to leave things like this. It'll be fine. That's not a bad idea. I could make a better tripod. These frog pods are legit. They're great. Am I getting chip build up in that hole? No? Okay. It looks like I was for a second. I didn't aim the air blast because I wasn't planning on using it. I need to adjust smoothing on this thing too. I know this is just a roughing tool path, but I've seen some faceting. There's smoothing settings in the control that you can tweak. I just haven't done it yet. Or you can do it in G-code. Ryder has a nice tripod on his channel. I'll look into it. I do need something better. You like the quad lock phone case? I'll look into that too. The phone mount I have is also super, super cheap and is definitely held together with hot glue. But right now, this isn't a tablet. This is my actual phone. How is the machine's camera? The camera is about as good as you would expect any other webcam. It's incredibly annoying to get the video out of the machine. Oops, my camera's moving more. It has a camera built into the column, but it's only really useful in capturing e-stops. Whenever it e-stops, it saves you like a minute of footage from before the e-stop. Both if you manually hit the e-stop or if it like crashes, it'll do a video of the crash for you. But I haven't, like I was hoping to be able to use the camera to get, like for one of the live streams like this, or, oh, do you know what? It's just a USB webcam. I could unplug it from the controller and plug it into my computer. And if I streamed from my computer, you guys could see the camera inside the machine. That might actually be worth it. I wouldn't be able to carry around the camera on me as I like switch between machines, but you guys could see inside the machine a little bit better. I could do that. Angelo, hi from Italy. I've never been to Italy. I would like to, I may have been to Italy when I was like 4, but I've not been to Italy within memory. I would like to get out there at some point. Actually, I may have even been like 2 when I went to Italy. Let me take you guys off the stationary mount so we can zoom in and get a little bit better view. Yeah, there we go. Let's tighten that up. Now that I know I can zoom, why is the zoom so aggressive? There we go. Thumbs down. We already know it's going to stay put at this point, I think. So it's kind of machining the satellite dish shape Well, we're roughing out the satellite dish shape. Eventually we'll switch to a ball mill. Okay, so it just stopped on a option stop. So let's turn this down to make sure we're not going to crash. Hit go. I'm going to leave the coolant on for this cut because I want the finish benefits. Where are we going? Around back? If it pops off anywhere, this is probably the most likely point. Oh, I forgot I was aiming a camera. There we go. So we're contouring the outside. There's definitely a little ruffle on the top. Yeah, if I used OBS, I could do an overlay. That's what I was thinking. I use OBS for recording stuff and things, like screen captures and stuff. I'm pretty familiar with it. I could even hook in my DSLR. That might be worth trying next time. The problem is I can't like wander over there and like do stuff on the host. But if I'm just over here, I just tried to touch the glass to focus the camera because I was looking at my finger through the screen. I thought I could give you guys a better view, but I think I have made it worse. What if I do that? Hey, look, it's blurry up close, Bubbles. Did we option stop? We're option stopped. Okay. Now it's probably going to go finish the inside or something. Oh, there's a little lip. That's what we're doing. You know, with copper being such a better conductor than steel, there's a pretty good chance the friction causes the CA to debond as this goes on when the coolant is off. You just mean because of heat? Sharp? As in my footage is sharp? Yeah, I know. All right, next time we'll try the OBS thing, I think, because we're not getting great. Why don't they add a small air hose to the window? I mean, it's fine if you're not trying to film, and most people don't film everything they do. They also have those spinny windows, which would be cool. You're deciding between a VF4 and a Doosan DNM 5700. Is the DNM the lighter one or the heavier one? The lighter Doosan I'm not a fan of. I would go with the VF4. If it's the heavier Doosan, I would go that route. Oh, look, we're option stopped again. So my buddy Harrison had the lighter, I think it's the SVM Doosan, the one that's built a little bit more lightweight, and I am thoroughly unimpressed with that machine. He likes his VF3 better. Ooh, tool change time. Yeah, let's just go for it. Okay, so now we should be going to our ball mill. I'm just going to feather the max velocity knob over here to make sure nothing crashes or whatever. Let's do air blast for just a second. I do want the, okay, that looks fine. I do want the finished benefits of the coolant here. I think we're air cutting right now anyway. The 5700 will be more rigid and have higher horsepower, but not as user-friendly. Is the DNM the heavier duty one or the lighter weight one? Because I would not get the lighter weight of the Doosan mills. Harrison had a super bad experience with the lighter weight one. Its spindle is a glass cannon basically, and like one dumb thing happened and it trashed his spindle, and he had to pay $25,000 to get it replaced, even though it was like only 2 weeks old. But the heavier duty Doosan, which I think is the DNM, that one is supposed to be really good and have a much better spindle, much better kinematic systems and everything. You're looking at the track VNC. I have a hard time going with a track. Like a VF2 is so cheap. I don't know what the advantage of a track would be. I haven't looked into them though. You're not squished this time. I know, it's because I'm recording on my phone. I don't think I can charge my phone and have the microphone on at the same time, and that's why I couldn't use it last time. It also means that I can put you guys on a tripod and aim you better and etc. Yeah, I just have not seen a good argument for the track mills, but I have not done research into them or anything. So so let's see. Are we gonna? I still need to program op 2. I think I'm gonna call op 1 good for today, and then just do it the rest of it off stream because I am running a little bit behind because I'm trying to stream. But we'll do the op 1. We'll see what it looks like, and then I'll do op 2 off camera. Oh, should we work on our other job, the Haas job? I mean, at this point, all we're doing is going in circles here, so I don't think you need to, like, there's not too much interesting. Hi, Tadalao? I don't know how to say your name. What was our sizes? 3.25 by 2.5. I should bring the sticky note with us. For plastic, I cut plastic on my table saw so that there's no issues of potential contamination from chips. Yeah, just literally circles. So I do this on my table saw. I'll put glasses on in a second here. The table saw also just cuts the plastic faster. It's easier than the bandsaw anyway. Heiden's is better than Siemens, is better than Fanuc. So I have heard. My controller experience is pretty darn limited at this point. Okay. So, what's up? You like my videos? I'm glad that they are entertaining to you. Can't stay and watch work, that's fine. This will become a VOD later. You're trying to get rid of your Heidenhain controllers just because the controller's weird. What does machine break all surfaces mean on Xometry? It just means do chamfers on the machine instead of using like a hand deburring tool. What it really means is just make them look nice. As long as they look nice, it's fine. I use a ruby stone sometimes for my small parts because it's just easier than deburring on the machine. You have a Mori M1 and broke 2 different spindles breaking a 60mm cutter. Really, I've heard that those M1s are pretty good machines. Those were ones that I was pretty interested in. The US seems to love Fanuc. Yes, I don't know why. They are, it's Stockholm Syndrome where, I forgot to get my calipers. It's Stockholm Syndrome where people have used them for so long that they've started to love them because they've used them for so long. I am very anti-Fanuc control. Controls should be easy to use and intuitive, and they should have developed in the last 50 years. How do you like the Tormach 1500 compared to my Haas? It is, I mean, I love my 1500. It is not a fair comparison to the Haas because the Haas is, like it's not a mini mill, it's an office mill. It's a completely different category of machine that has its own use purposes. My 1500 is so much better than the Haas. Like better finishes, better accuracy, better, like, I don't know, basically everything. But the Haas is 25 years old. It's old enough to drink. And it's not designed to take a cut, it's designed to make small stuff. The spindle on that is very noodly, but it gets the 40K RPM. The tool holders are tiny. Like, it's not fair for me to compare the Haas to the Tormach because the Tormach is just a different class of machine. You would want to compare the Tormach to like a Haas DC-1 or a mini mill. But yeah, comparing my Haas to a Tormach is like comparing, you know, 1100 MX to a Shapeoko. Like it's just a different class of machine designed for different things, doing different things. Are conversational controls better on the Tormach? I have no idea. Well, actually, no, I do know this one. My Tormach has them, my Haas doesn't. So I guess, yes, they are better on the Tormach. I never use conversational. It's so much faster just to do everything in Fusion. I would not bother with conversational. I know that's controversial, and for some people in some shops, the conversation, like having conversational at your machine is a benefit, but I can't imagine running that way. What was my sticky note? 3 1/4 by 2 1/2. So how big is that's over 6? So yeah, okay. I'm going to set this to 2 1/2. Actually, I'm going to set it to a little bit more than 2 1/2, 2 1/4, 2 1/2. I'm going to set it to more than 2 1/2, just to be safe. And use my calipers to set the fence. There we go. Let's see, is this going to be a safe cut? It's longer than it is wide, so I'm comfortable doing that. This is going to be, where are you guys? This is going to be really loud, so I'm going to mute you guys. And safety glasses. I'm going to turn on my shop vac. I'm going to turn on the saw. I'm going to do this cut. Hopefully there will be no blood splatter. So, but we're going to mute for a second. Okay, I'm back, at least until I have this other cut set up. Now on this one, because the part that I'm about to cut, the distance between the fence and the blade is longer than the distance that would be riding on the fence. That's a dangerous cut. We don't want to do that. That's a hazard. So instead, what we're going to do is I'm going to take my 1, 2, 3 block here, and I'm going to measure to the 1, 2, 3 block. What? 3 1/4 plus a bit. Okay, so I'm going to set my fence based on this 1, 2, 3 block. So basically, it'll be exactly an inch away from where the edge of the material is going to be. So right about there should be good. I unmuted, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's going to be good. Now I can use Mr. Crosscut here, and I'm going to set my distance off of this 1, 2, 3 block, and then before I start cutting, I'm going to move that to the other side. So that's just a safety thing if you want to keep all of your fingers, when you're table sawing. So I'm going to mute you guys again, and I'll do this cut. All right, look, guys, I have all my fingers still. So, glasses. I keep a pair of glasses at the table saw too. Good safety tip. I have mentioned the new Path Pilot update. I have not done the update yet, but I have mentioned it. So we need to get this glued down. In this case, I am machining off. All of the face that I am gluing down. Wait, am I? Please hold while AJ thinks. Or am I using it? I don't remember which side I do first. The soft jaws look like that. No, okay, I do not machine off this face. We want to leave it optically clear. I lied. So, what I'm going to do is glue down this stuff directly to... Wait, is this how I did it? I should have looked at my program. Which side? I definitely did the top first. And then... Okay, yeah. We want we want the bottom side to stay optically clear. Okay, I'm remembering. We want the bottom side to stay optically clear. The other side will get as clear as we can, but it's not going to be perfect because we're going to ball mill it all in. This plastic here destroys the end mills. It gets wrapped up. It's super gummy and it's super tough. So I'm going to pull this off and replace it with green painter's tape, which I'll go grab. Excuse me, I called it painter's tape. This is the powder coating tape. So now I can do a layer of this. There's no need to clean because that was protected by the paper. So I can put this tape down on it. And I'll need 2 strips. And I want 0 gap, but also 0 overlap. Okay. Come on. Now I can press this down and use my scalpel to trim the edges. So the reason we just replaced that tape, again, is because this stuff is kind of like, it's brittle, basically, as far as tapes go, whereas the other stuff is very, very, very gummy. And the other stuff will wrap around end mills. This stuff does not wrap around end mills. This stuff will just form chips like, you know, the polycarbonate will. I don't know what material that plastic that comes on is made out of, but I believe this stuff is PET. Similar to PETG of 3D printing fame. But we can just kind of trim this off. There we go. And smush it down. If there's any bubbles, which I did not do a good job of on this time, there were some big bubbles, we can do some thin lines through those. And that kind of pops them and lets you press them down. Our Tormach is done. And just make sure there's no burrs or anything there. And that should be good to go on the machine. These parts have a fairly long cycle time. It's like 4 hours or something, because there's a ton of surfacing on this side. And before I run them, I'll take this side off. But we should go check on the Tormach. Did I miss anything in the comments? How many people actually use conversational? In some shops, it's very common. Oh, we need to do chamfers. In some shops, it's very common. There are some shops that only run on conversational, particularly guys who do a lot of turning work. A lot of shaft work can be done all conversational. Cool. cool. That chamfer just started. If you don't have good systems in Fusion, conversational can be faster. If you have good systems in Fusion, it will always be slower. Because if your parts are simple, then templates work really well for you. So you're just wasting time messing around with conversational. If you don't have good systems in place in Fusion, yeah, it can be faster to program something in conversational. But like on this program, I think the only operation that I had to hand program was the surfacing operation. Everything else was generated by Fusion. And I don't have like AI plugins or anything. It's just well-templated workflows. But guys, I believe we are done. Should switch you back around. Switch you back around. JB Pipes, give me 1 second. Let me look at this. Well, I mean, there's our part, at least op 1 of our part. We still have to do all the op 2 stuff, but I'll do that off camera. It is still stuck here, and I need to make another one of those. I could probably work on my surfacing toolpath a little bit. It's certainly not bad, but I can maybe need to mess with smoothing or try a different tool. It's not quite where I would like it to be, but I mean, it's good enough. The customer only specified 125 RA, and this is definitely better than 125 RA, so we should be good. Now we get to play, well, okay, we should probably play the measure it game. I'm going to do that off camera. I'll measure it off camera. But to get this off, I'm just going to take my propane torch, heat up this aluminum block, and it'll pop right off. All right, so if you guys have any questions, we're going to wrap up the stream here. But if you have some Q&A questions or have some questions for a Q&A, let's do that now. I'm going to mute and blow my nose. All right, as long as I don't have any boogers in my mustache, we can do Q&A. Is pure copper easy to machine like brass? It's not hard. Like, it is a soft material, but it is generally a pain to machine, particularly if you are drilling. It's very, very gummy. It's very easy to get it like a buildup on your tools. I do not like machining copper if I can avoid it. I've done enough of it where it's like fine. Like, we didn't have any snags today, obviously, but it's not my favorite material to machine. Let me go back. Jacob says, hi, since you do a nice job on videos, you had to say thanks. You have a Tormach 1100M. You need to relearn from the ground up. You wish you didn't stop because you focused on other things. Yeah, life has a tendency to get in the way. Like, I happen to be doing this full time, and so like, this is my thing that gets in the way of other things, but life happens. Why am I not doing that on my Tormach? So, I mean, these parts I was making on my Tormach, the copper parts. I was getting the Haas set up for a second job that's a good Haas job. So the answer is I have 2 jobs going on at the same time, so each machine is going to be doing its own thing. This is the new Tormach, yes. Oh, look, you figured that out later in the thing. Norman asked, how is the Haas spindle bent? It isn't degrading more. It's not getting worse, but it's not getting any better. So I need to get that thing rebuilt. It needs new bearings, and it needs to have the spindle taper reground. What glue have I been using on the copper parts? I use this stuff whenever I'm gluing metal to metal. It is Loctite 480. Do not buy it on Amazon. Buy it on McMaster or an MSC websites like that. I ordered 4 bottles in a row and returned 4 bottles in a row on Amazon. like at one point they sent me a, no, okay, actually that's not true. I ordered 3 bottles in a row, and then I also intentionally ordered a knockoff. The knockoff did not work. The 3 bottles in a row, I came in and they were just a ball of rubber in there. They were completely dry. So I've given up buying on Amazon, and I just buy it on McMaster. It's like 5% more expensive, but it has worked every single time. Is it worse than 500 or 5000 series aluminum? Yes, it is very, very, very gummy. Beryllium copper is not bad, but then you have the health issues of beryllium. Toolpath. I don't know which one of you from Toolpath is that. But what's my favorite thing about the 1500? The controller is really good. Compared to the Haas having the bigger work area and the faster rapids, it is Ben. Hi, Ben. Like the faster rapids and everything is nice. The more rigid spindle is really nice. But that's not going to set it apart from something like a mini mill. But the controller is really good. Do I cut or form threads usually? If I'm using a tap, I don't use taps a lot. I usually cut them with a thread mill, I guess is the answer. If I'm buying a tap, I probably buy a form tap. But most of the time I just thread mill them. Do I prefer doing deep cuts with adaptive clearing or shallow cuts with a more width of cut and faster speeds? Depends on the setup, the machine, the material. The Haas, definitely high feed strategies. High feed is low depth of cut, high speed. With this thing, it can go either way. It's not slow. It doesn't have a ton of torque like a big Cat 40. That's when the big adaptive clearing strategies really come into play. It can really do either, I guess is the answer. I do both depending on my need. If I'm doing slotting, I'm going to take a low depth of cut and a high feed. If I'm doing just a bunch of material removal, I'll probably tend to go with a deeper cut and a lower width of cut. Have I considered shrink fit or power grip? Yes, I would love both of those. The power grip, buying the machine plus all the tooling I would need would probably cost more than my 1100 MX. So I'm probably not going to get power grip anytime soon. I would love it. It would be great, but not yet. Shrink fit, I've definitely considered. That I need some nicer tool holders than ER. I'm probably going to buy a hydraulic for the big 2,000 part job I have coming up, but I haven't gotten there yet. Hi, Ben. Good to see you. I know you sent me an Instagram message, I think, when I was on stream. I'll look at that in a minute. I know I also owe you some other things. Is the touchscreen easier to use than buttons? No, I wouldn't say so. Physical buttons are hard to beat. Yeah. Is in-person training some... Oh, Jacob says, hi. Hi, Jacob. But physical buttons, if I can, but this is better laid out than the Haas controller. The Haas controller has too many physical buttons. Some physical buttons good, all the physical buttons bad, because then you have to look through the buttons to find what you're looking for. Eventually, as you get better, like you'll start to learn where the buttons are, but if you have too many physical buttons, you can make mistakes and press the wrong button. I have broken tools that way. So there is a limit to too many buttons, but there's also a limit to touchscreen. I wish this thing had, if I could have my way, I would have, I don't know, 20 buttons or something like that. This needs more buttons. It's too touchscreeny. But the Haas is too many buttonsy. So I would like some sort of combination. Saunders stopped offering in-person training. Is that something I would consider doing? Yes, that is something I would consider doing. I'm not really set up for it right now. I do CAD training through a company called NextGen. NextGen Solutions, they're like a Fusion reseller. I have worked as a contractor for them going out to companies to do some Fusion and machining type training stuff. So if you really wanted to book me to come to your shop, you can call NextGen and just ask for me and I'll come out. If you are not a company, if you are just an individual who wants Fusion training, that is something that I will That is something that I am going to start offering. In fact, if you go to audacitymicro.com, there is the ability to sign up for a time slot. I haven't really started advertising that yet, mostly because I want to keep NextGen happy. I realized after I set up the website that there's a potential conflict of interest there. My way around that is that I will not be offering Fusion training to companies or someone who's doing this professionally. I'm only going to offer training to hobbyists and individuals. So if you're a company, call NextGen and ask for me. If you're an individual, go to my website and sign up for a time slot. In terms of bringing people here to teach them how to run a mill, I would need more infrastructure in place. For example, I don't have a bathroom in my shop, and if I'm teaching an 8-hour class, we would need a bathroom, and so like I'd have to send someone out to my house or behind a tree if they needed to go potty, and like it just gets messy. So not here. If you want me to come out, call NextGen, and we'll do it through NextGen. Which coolant am I using? Qualichem 251C. SK holders from AliExpress seem great. Yeah, I have seen those. They seem perfectly fine. I don't know. I buy a lot of Haas tools that's cheaper than the AliExpress tools. And I think I want to try hydraulic. I want to try shrink fit. Herco has a good touchscreen to button ratio. That makes sense because they also have really good solid conversational. Was the choice of Fusion mostly cost reason? Yeah, the only other one I would consider is NX. I started with HSM inside Inventor, but I would never go to Mastercam or one of them that is not an integrated CAD cam. I want those two things to be married. And basically your options for that are Fusion or NX, and NX is stupidly expensive. So if someone can get me an NX sponsorship, I would certainly try them. But I like Fusion. I've been using it for a long time. A lot of you guys use Fusion, so it makes sense for me to use Fusion. For aluminum, you think it's overrated? Carbide is so much harder. I feel like I missed a thing here. I think coatings are better at harder and more abrasive materials to really be beneficial. JB Pipes, I feel like I missed a message there somewhere. Are you talking about high-speed steel or coated tools? Blue bathrooms would work. They would work. And actually, I would love to have a porta potty nearby, just because I need to go to the bathroom, multiple times a day. I have done a bad job at hydrating during the stream, but normally I'm just constantly drinking water, and I don't know. I can go pee behind a tree, but I wouldn't ask somebody else to do that. So if I could, I don't know, if I had like 2 or 3 training classes a month and it paid for my porta potties, that might be worth it. There is the possible future of adding an extension to this building, and if we did that, we would add a septic tank. It's not worth it right now because we would need permits and have someone come do that and yada, 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 yada. But a porta potty wouldn't be a bad idea. If DLC was good for aluminum. For aluminum, use either uncoated or, I'm blanking on the name right now, but this yellow stuff. It's fine. Uncoated is fine. I don't see wear issues in aluminum. Like I don't run into tool life. It's basically about lubricity and making sure that you don't get chip welding. And if you have good coolant, then whatever. Have I considered robotic loading / unloading for large jobs? My plan for 2025 is to add a robot to this machine. It will happen before the end of the year. Yeah, ZRN is the yellow coating. It will happen before the end of the year. I'm going to try to optimize for small parts, for small jobs. I don't want to optimize my production for big quantities of production work. I want it to be set up for flexibility. So I can run 10 different parts overnight, like with different tools and everything. I don't want to set up one part to run, 1,000 of them. So yes, robots are happening sooner or later this year. What do I classify as advanced? I assume this is talking about the Fusion stuff. The class that the standardized class that I have listed on my website is like this is how you do a 3D adaptive. This is how you do a 2D contour. Anything more than like the absolute basics of like nuts and bolts of Fusion, that is what I'm calling advanced. Which I will, the other thing I was gonna do, I am going to set up a service where I will organize, I need to get my systems in line first, but like I have my Fusion templates very much dialed, and I am working on the next more advanced version of that, but I'm going to start offering coming into somebody's business and setting up their Fusion templates as a service. And that is not something NextGen does, so I am comfortable doing that while still being a contractor for NextGen. I don't think there's a conflict of interest there, though I will ask them first. Do I have a working routine like morning programming and afternoon machining? Yeah, I wake up and I start working until I'm really, really tired, and then I go to bed. Honestly, at this point, most of the time I don't set an alarm. I wake up when I wake up, and I go to bed whenever I've gotten enough done for the day. So I guess the answer is no. My schedule changes a lot between winter and summer just because of daylight. Like in the summer, I'm a lot more likely to wake up at 6 or whatever. In the winter, because the state's darker longer, I'm maybe sleeping until 8 or 9. Sometimes I stop working at 3 in the afternoon, like I'm gonna do today. Sometimes I work until 4 a.m. It's just a matter of what needs to be done when. It's probably not the healthiest work schedule ever. It's certainly not the most efficient work schedule, but it makes me happy. And flexibility is the whole reason we started our own business. So, well, not the only reason, but a big reason. If I were to get another machine, would you get one big machine or a few smaller machines? This is still something I'm working on because there's a argument for, basically there's like 2 options going forwards for automation. There's the Jingdao machine, which is a small, super high precision, super high surface finish, pallet loading type 5-axis. It's 200,000 without the pallet loader. With the pallet loader, it's probably like 300,000. I could get that, or my entire automation setup, machine plus robot plus fixturing, is going to be about 80, 90,000 on this thing. So I suppose the work will kind of drive it. But ideally, what I would like to do is have a super, super, super dialed automation system built here. So I'm building like one demo cell. And it'll have a robot, it'll have the automation stuff, it'll have the machine, it'll have like the pallet loading software, all of that stuff. I would like to get it proven out, super reliable, and then just copy paste it to another place. So as long as I can get that with this machine and the Tormach robot, like there will be some testing, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, I don't know yet. If I can get it to work, I'll just copy paste what I have. If I can't get it to work, I will move up a level of machine, try to build out the automation cell with that. And once that works, copy paste it. So the answer is it depends, I guess. The advantage of the Jingdao is normally you cannot inspect parts on the same machine that you are making the parts on. I would not inspect parts on the Tormach using the probe before and like send that report to a customer. I will do that for like some internal documentation, but you cannot use that as a inspection report to go to a customer. You have to still manually inspect it. The Jingdao, the way it is set up with it being all climate controlled, it has glass scales on all of the different axes. It can be a CMM. It is actually more accurate than a lot of entry-level CMMs, and so you can inspect parts on the Jingdao before, and like use that as an inspection report that you would send to your customers. I maybe wouldn't do that for aerospace, but for most stuff, like maybe stuff that's not directly safety related, I would be comfortable with that. What type of 0 point? I have an Aroa pallet system on the way with a pneumatic basis. So I'll have one vertical on this machine and then one at a right angle so that I can index and hit the sides. But the reason for that is you can buy a lot of Aroa pallets and a lot of Aroa work holding for really cheap. Like these little vices, one nice quality Lang vise is like what, $800 or more, 1,600, and these are like 50. Though they recently seem to have gone up to 80. So I can buy a whole lot of these for the price of one Lang system. And again, my plan is to automate onesie twosies. I don't want to automate high volume. I want to automate onesie twosies. That's what I'm working towards. And so loading fixtures makes more sense than loading parts. But we'll have some future videos on that. I have an idea for how to automate this 2,000 piece job. And I'll probably test it, maybe on stream or in a video, we'll see. Ben, are you guys ever gonna offer toolpath, like access to a toolpath API where like a Python script could upload a part and then it'll spit out a quote or at least the costing like you guys have now? Is that something that is on your roadmap, if you can say? How do I check dimensions of my parts, like a hole for a bearing? I mean, there's a million different ways to measure things. If it's low tolerance calipers, if it's higher tolerance micrometers, gauge pins, height gauge. I use my optical comparator a lot, etc. I'll take that as a no comment. For Op1, as long as it holds, those mini vices are great. Yeah, they really are. For Op2, I have a version of them that holds soft jaws. I also have my Flux vise. And I think it was public that Flux is working on like a smaller Aroa compatible version of their Flux vise. So either of those would work for second ops. And my plan is, so like I'll spit out a program on Fusion, or a part. Let's say it's a 2-op part with soft jaws. So my plan is for it to, on a screen that I'll have here next to the robot, it'll say, put this size of material into this type of vise into spot A on the grid. And it'll say, load a blank set of soft jaws into spot B on the grid. And then it'll take the soft jaws, cut the soft jaws, put them back in a spot. It'll then run the op1, put it back, and then it'll pop up a notification that says, take the part that's in spot A, put it into the soft jaws in spot B. And then you can, some way mark that that's done, and then it'll be able to do that and then run the op2. That's the goal. So it won't be this year. This is the API, but we have a good amount of people asking, so it's on our radar, but not on this year's roadmap. Yeah. When am I going to change my shirt color? Never. I got some new shirts from EJ at Nocturnal Welding, so my shirts have gotten a little bit less dirty and brown. But I need to, my colors are orange. I'm known as the orange shirt guy. People recognize me at IMTS when I wear orange. At this point, it kind of was a joke originally with Design the Everything, where I needed shirts to work in, and so I just bought a pack of orange shirts. But then it kind of became it was a joke that just turned into reality, and I just wear orange all the time now. Even my church colored shirts, they're orange. I'm just the orange shirt guy. But okay, I need to go finish up these parts. I need to get the other parts started. And I need to hang out with my family because I did not hang out with them yesterday because I worked a lot. So, bye guys. How do I hang up? That button? Bye.